guys? Want to thank you so much for being here for another episode of Beers and Bells. I'm Demarco. Got a very special guest today, and we're going to be talking to you guys about a bunch of different topics, obviously fitness being one of the main ones. And before I go any further, the featured beer of the day is the Cosmic Distortion Double IPA from Mighty Squirrel Brewery, and it's really, really good. So definitely one of my favorites. So without further ado, my guest on here is a personal trainer, strength coach. She's actually extremely strong. She did the Deviate certification with me and did her double bell clean and push press test with double 16s, which is impressive. So we're talking 35 pounds a hand, and just smoked it. And honestly, I liked the pace you went, by the way. I thought it was a very, very good methodical pace. And versus me, I was kind of like grip and rip. I was like, let's get this crap over with and be done. But I thought your pace and everything was impressive. So without further ado, Damali, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for the intro, and I'm glad
Yeah,
to see you enjoying your beer. I'm gonna stick with my coffee for now,
there we
folks.
go. No, nothing wrong with that. That's good.
hmm And thank you. I think the Deviate cert had gave me an opportunity to meet some new folks and really get to know
Yeah,
people. So I'm glad to have met you there. Yeah, you were sprinting through that.
yeah,
And I had a little bit of a different approach on there of getting used to the deviate method and
yeah.
really looking at it as a way to improve my strength endurance. So I was practicing at like a bit of a paced approach, and it
Mhm.
did work out.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I can move up to those 20s. I'm working on that too.
Oh, you definitely will. I'm excited. I feel like you could have done it that day. Those 16s flew up, man. They look good. They look very smooth.
Uh, no, I don't think so. But soon it's coming
Soon.
soon.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. It's no, I liked your testing approach because you not only obviously went a slower pace than I did, but did you adjusted your feet every single rep as well, right? Like you started a little bit wide, kind of stepped in, and I think again for someone like me that is a little bit more kind of hyper and just wants to kind of get things done, kind of Tasmanian double style, probably wouldn't work as well for me, but. I think it's a good way to help you with pacing yourself and not going too fast and not muscling through the reps because my method I could definitely do with 24s. If I tried to go up to 28s, I had to slow down, particularly like between the reps. So it's definitely I feel like when I start to try to work up and go to double 28s, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that grip and rip style. Probably going to have to use more of the Damali method.
The Molly method. I like that.
So
Yeah. So, I mean, for people who don't know that much about me, I am a kettlebell and nutrition coach in Brampton, Ontario, Canada. So we are distanced apart. So it was amazing to meet folks on a virtual certification, my first one. I've been training folks in kettlebells since 2014. And I think I found that, even as long as I've been training and as many people as I keep meeting, so many people still don't know what that thing is. What is a
yeah,
kettlebell, how to move a kettlebell, or why it's, such a great training tool. So what you were seeing was probably also just the way that I work with folks around like breaking things down to their basic movement. And for me on the push press, I definitely need a narrower stance to feel more efficient. So what you saw was me opening for the double bells, giving myself space to swing, and then moving in for my push press so that I could keep that sustained pace and feel like I was moving efficiently for the rest of the cert testing we had to do, keep that energy up. So that's kind of what you were seeing there, just like a little taste of how I tend to move.
that's awesome. Yeah, honestly, what I was most impressed with, Damali, was obviously the weights. The double 16, that's serious weight. I have one client that's doing clean and push presses with double 16s, and she's by far my strongest lifter. So, but what I was really impressed with was how quickly you went through all the technique stuff. Like you still did it well. Not to say you were in a hurry, but I was gassed. I was pretty wiped out after the technique testing and I was very glad that to have at least a little bit of time afterwards to kind of recover, because I was pretty wiped out after all that. So, but I feel like you just went Terminator mode and just beasted it out. It was awesome.
I thought it was a pretty good, testing and just
Yeah,
uh, we had our choice of bells, and I just stick to what I know. I do work a lot with the 16, so that
yeah,
felt comfortable for me. But that's one of the benefits of the deviate system is that you can work within your comfort zone, of course, challenging yourself, but not feeling pushed to, have to go heavier if you didn't want to, right? But I was still envying your 24th.
oh, that'll be you in no time.
Yeah,
So
we're working on it. We're working on it. We're taking
yeah,
it seriously.
absolutely, yeah, no, definitely. And you're right. I like how Phil allowed us to select our own weights, especially when obviously you saw my presses. I actually wasn't able to get all five of the double 28 presses, so it's so he just gave me the option. I actually didn't even have 20s either, anyway, so I personally had no choice. I had to do 24s.
Okay.
So I was good. So that actually worked out for the best of me. And if I would have done something lighter, if I had dropped two belt sizes, it would have just been kind of ridiculous. It would have been like you testing with like 12. So it would have been like, come on, man. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, Damali, one of our big things that we have like with our channel, with our business Strength with Purpose is our slogan is serving others through strength.
Mhm.
And that's one of the main reasons I wanted you on this show, because I think that you definitely embody that core value. I particularly really liked the little bio on your Instagram page, and I'm going to read it out for everybody. It says, "I help folks to embrace their strength because strong is for every body." The
Mhm.
word "body" being all caps. I think that's a really cool philosophy, and I'd actually like to go into that more, because I've seen some of the posts recently where you've talked about fitness for all bodies and being involved with that. Are you a coach for/with Fitness for All Bodies?
Nope, I'm not. But
Oh,
like you
awesome.
said,
Okay.
I'm out here to serve the people with strength.
Hmm.
So I love what they're doing and absolutely support and have shared those values. So I'm not an instructor with Fitness over All Bodies, but I encourage everyone to go follow,
Hmm.
support, uh, give a little bit of time to spreading the message that we can see fitness and strength embodied in all bodies. And, if we all work together as a community and share some of our expertise, I think that'll go a long way to helping encourage and create accessibility for folks across the board.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think, like I said, I obviously I've been tagging and posting a bunch of their stuff, or not posting, but tagging a bunch of stuff with them lately. The queer gym pop up stuff that Justice has also been involved with. It's something that's where the conversation has definitely changed since like you, Justice, and a couple other coaches have brought it up. And it's nice where you have like Lauren and Jason Pock and Phil Scrito and Pam and a lot of other fitness professionals are joining the conversation, which is obviously really encouraging. And it's definitely going to slowly but surely definitely kind of expand the mindset of fitness versus like like. And I love your post, by the way. We were talking about fitness is more than just like looking a certain way, being a certain measurement, and a certain weight and all that kind of stuff, and how we're all built very differently. Not everyone. It reminds me of the and you'll notice every episode I drop a movie reference. That's one of my superpowers. uh,
Okay.
yeah, but it reminds me of Fight Club, when Edward Norton and Brad Pitt are on the bus, and there's like the Calvin Klein model poster, and Brad Pitt looks and says, "Is that what a real man looks like?" So
Mhm.
definitely reminds you of that, and how we kind of put that into this very tight box, and how it's the way real people move and look is very different than those silly ads that you see on a lot of magazines and whatnot. So
Mhm. I think that challenging the narrative around whether or not you can see fitness, whether or not you can see health by a person's body, I think is an important place to start. I don't know about you, but I've met some people who wanted to train for years, but they felt like they had to get fit to come train. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like
Hmm.
it was like they couldn't feel comfortable in their body to come train or work out or move. And it's like, does that not defeat the whole purpose? Like we are here to embrace movement, to feel comfortable, and sometimes strength is that freedom of movement because of how efficiently and easily you can move.
Hmm.
But if you're like totally intimidated because your body doesn't look a certain way, like now you're kind of oppressed. You're like you're not able to join that movement of freedom, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And that's, again, that was honestly that was an eye-opening conversation when we spoke to Justice about this the first time, and I actually saw the conversation that he had with Phil Scarito. I believe it was sometime late last year, maybe middle of last year, and it's something I just never thought about, because Sean and I have talked about this. Like we're pretty fit guys. Like we're not, I'm not magazine shoot ready or anything like that, but I'm still built, quote unquote, athletically, whatever the hell that means. But like you said, what does that actually mean, right? What are the deeper mechanisms at play? And you're talking about strength being like the freedom to move because of how strong you are and how free you move. I think that's awesome. I think that's very true. And I've met people on both sides of the spectrum. I've met guys and women, men and women, that saw themselves as too skinny and they wanted to get up to what they thought was a healthy and attractive weight for them, and they didn't feel like they could come to the gym and feel welcome there because they didn't look the right way. But then the other end of the spectrum, people that they didn't think they weighed low enough, their weight wasn't low enough to be able to be in a gym, they were too big to go into a fitness center, and they felt like they had to work up to being able to come to a gym, and that defeats the purpose. That's the goal for, especially for coaches, like us that do truly want to serve everybody that's willing to work. Of course, we want people to come there and for it to be a safe place and for it to be a good, healthy, foster community. So it
Mhm.
can definitely be a lot of barriers there, right? A lot of stuff to unpack. So
Yeah. And I mean, you said the word safety, and I think that has, like strength, that has a lot of meaning to me. Um, as a coach, I want people to feel like they can, and we talk a lot about safety with kettlebells, as there's been
mhm.
narratives around people getting injured in the past.
Yep.
But it's like you want to teach them how to move safely. But if you do not feel safe in the environment to move, then you're stuck, right? So
Mhm.
how do you bring people in to feel safe enough to move in whatever way they're able to, in order to kind of progress and grow and get stronger together? Um, I think that's a big part of our coaching experience, and what we bring to our clients every day is a space where they can feel safe, not just technique wise, keeping their physical safety,
Mhm.
but into their whole environment.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And it's funny if you think about it from an objective standpoint, if you want to come at it from a logical point of view, people that love to work out and feel comfortable in a gym will go to a gym, right? You don't really have to sell it to them. They're going to go in because they love it and they feel welcome in that space. From a business standpoint, if you figure out how to make more people feel welcome in the gym, now post pandemic, of course, it's right now coronavirus, of course, is the ultimate ringer. But let's say when we get to phase 4 and life can more or less resume and go back to normal, if we can reach those people that feel like they don't belong in that space and we can actually reach out to them, make them feel comfortable and bring them in, not only is that going to serve more people, but that's going to be more profitable for a business. So there's a lot of reasons why it's a very important conversation to keep having and to keep kind of thinking about and challenging our previously held notions. So
Yeah. I think business wise, like just like inclusion and diversity is a benefit to any business. It
absolutely,
goes
yeah.
it goes to the same thing in terms of making them safe. I think even in the online world right now, like when I teach classes, Um, there are certain classes where I don't share it or show it because I have students who still do not feel comfortable being looked at. So
Mhm.
they have come in and they feel comfortable training with me, but they know that there's still this judgment outside. And as much as they're putting in to take care of themselves because they want to love their body, they're still struggling with what people are thinking of them, even though they've already taken that step. They're in the ring, right? They're fighting. They're
Yeah.
doing what they need to do, and there's always going to be the people on the outside of it who have something
Oh,
to
of
say,
course.
but that struggle itself is weight. That's weight bearing on top of what they're trying to do and what they're trying to overcome. Is like, oh, how many people are judging me? Are they looking at me? Are they going to look at this video and see me trying like training, but be making fun of my body shape, my size,
Mhm.
how I moved, all of these different things. So trying to get to a space where we can remove that weight, like that is important for me.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And that's, I mean, just really, I mean, you honestly, I couldn't even put it anywhere near as well as you just did. But yeah, I mean, there's that judgmental, and it's kind of sad because when you see, and we've all seen it before. Let's be honest here. We've seen somebody come into the gym. Maybe it's like their first day in the gym, and they obviously don't feel very welcome. They're just kind of looking around like, oh crap, man, I don't really know what to do. I'm just gonna do some cardio. Or I'm just gonna get on this treadmill and kind of do that because it's simple. I can press a button and just get moving, and you'll see people like laughing and making jokes, and it's really sad because they're whatever they're there to work on, whether it's their weight or their strength or their health, or their doctor said that their numbers are not good, so to speak, and they want to improve those. you know they're there for the same reason that the rest of us are, to get better and to improve something. That's It would be better if we all just supported them, obviously, and made them feel more welcome. Because if they don't feel comfortable and safe there, they're not going to stick around. They're not going to be there very long. So that's why I love, obviously, the advocacy that you do with your posts and the things you talk about, and of course the stuff that Coach Justice does as well. So I think it's a great conversation to have and continue to do, especially for guys like me that don't really have to think about it. I can walk into any gym that I want to and feel fine. Like even for me, if I go into like a hardcore powerlifting gym, like I'm not a hardcore powerlifter, but I still would feel more or less welcome in there, right? Like I'm a decently fit guy and I know how to lift some weights, but I think it's something we can definitely work on just overall, especially people like me that don't have to think about that. So there's obviously a lot of privilege, I would say, wrapped around that as well, and words that people don't like to use because they get very there's that knee jerk standoffish reaction that people will have. So
Yeah, I mean, it's opportunity for all of us to kind of unlearn and to recognize what kind of biases we have, and to realize that again, your perception of somebody walking into a space that they must be fit or they're not, you really cannot base it on what you're seeing. And the underlining is to just like welcome people as they are, and take time to assess where they're going to go to and understand where they want to go to. Don't make that assumption as well. Like someone's coming in, oh, this person is in a larger body, so they must be coming in because they want a smaller body. No, that's not the case at all either. You need to really come to people's humanity and to know like some people are moving for their mental health, some people are moving to recover from injuries.
mhm.
Some people just move for the sake of the joy and fun of movement,
Mhm.
and that is fine too. It doesn't have to be because you want to change your body in any way. And we need to get rid of those assumptions.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's so true. And I think we're so obviously, especially you talk about advertisements, marketing, that those are all visually driven, right? Visually and audio driven. So posters, advertisements, do this workout and look like this, do the Thor workout and look like Chris Hemsworth and that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to say that's inherently a bad thing, but it definitely doesn't tell the whole story, right? We're so wrapped up and we're so obsessed with the physicality of fitness and strength and health and whatever the hell those words actually mean, because they've become so convoluted particularly over the last like 30 years, as far as what is healthy. Like, women will come into the gym. They said, I just want to get skinny. And, we kind of have to unpack that, right? And talk about, well, what does that actually mean to you? I want to get lean. I want to get long, lean muscles. I want to tone. I want to do this. Like, what you actually want is not what you're actually saying. And then there's that big disconnect there, right? It's like, what do you actually want? I have clients of mine who actually came to me and we didn't even talk about weight, body fat percentage, BMI. They just said, hey, I just want to train for this event. I want to train for, a Spartan or an Ironman, or, we did the Strong First Tactical Strength Challenge for a few years at our gym. And, they just like, hey, I just want to train for this event and have fun. And it's funny how when you find something fun to train for and you stop stressing out about these numbers and these measurements and everything, you start to enjoy yourself. Your physical health obviously improves, but then your mental health even takes an exponential leap, right? And you start seeing yourself as strong and as powerful. And just as you talk about Injustice does, you start loving your body and enjoying moving your body, and not thinking about meeting this criteria or rubric that somebody's put together that doesn't know what it feels like to be in your body, obviously. So.
Mm-hmm. But the more we can separate from the aesthetics and get that movement towards them being different, I think it will help overall. Because even those people who are training for performance, through the years, women have often thought they had to avoid lifting heavy, avoid training hard,
Yep.
because their body will change and the resulting change would not be an acceptable body type.
Right.
So again, it's like to love your body, to understand like that you, find joy in the movement, find joy in your body, and then the resulting changes to your body are not positively aesthetic or negatively aesthetics, right? Like it is a result of what you do. And if you're doing what you love, then you should love your body and how it looks, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think you're right. I think that's again kind of challenging norms and previously held notions about health, fitness, strength, and all that kind of stuff. Because if you peel back the layers, it's again more than just how you look and what your measurements are and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
it can be hard though. It literally, I mean, it feels like sometimes like the Matrix, right? Like someone has that programming, and it can be very challenging to kind of propose an alternate point of view versus like, oh, I just want to get skinny. I just want to lose 30, 40, 50, whatever pounds, and then I'll be happy. It's like, well, let's unpack that a little bit. What does that mean to you? What do you actually want? So I think you hit the nail right on the head, Damali. So you're into kettlebells. You obviously do kettlebell training. This pandemic has totally shown a lot of non-believers how amazing kettlebell training is. It was so funny. One of my coaches posted this really funny meme. They said, back before the pandemic, all the gym bros, the bodybuilders, and the powerlifters were like, oh, you don't need kettlebells, bro. You just need a barbell, squat, bench, deadlift, and all that kind of stuff. And check out my arm workout. And then it's when the shutdown happened, they had some kettlebells. Oh, check out my kettlebell workout. This is what I'm doing. Like, oh, really? Okay, so now we're there. So, but yeah, you have one piece of equipment, obviously very minimalist and very versatile, of course.
Mm-hmm.
What attracted you to the kettlebell as far as the training? Were you doing any other type of like personal training before that?
I came to kettlebells from Muay Thai. So
Oh, cool.
I I was a late bloomer to really investing in fitness, to be quite honest. I was an engineering student with, married with two children, very focused on my career, and just got really tired. I was pretty depleted in energy, and started looking for training. But I was looking for my kids first. So
Yeah.
this is something that happens, as parents, you start to focus your attention. And I found this Muay Thai gym for them, my daughters, and started to go to class with them. And
Oh,
I
cool.
absolutely fell in love with Muay Thai striking. In a similar sense to strength training, I think that and it's probably another whole other topic. we have a lot of internalized trauma, like things that come up. And as we strength train and we become more aware in our bodies, it kind of gives us an opportunity to kind of heal through movement, through these activities. So I was very invested into Muay Thai. Um, I had my first demo smoker fight at 33. I was training and started fighting. Probably I was fighting like once a month. So I ended up fighting here in Canada, in New York, in Iowa. Um, for 3 years, I was an amateur Muay Thai fighter, and
Awesome.
I I actually brought kettlebells in because as an older fighter with a lot of younger folks, I was looking for functional training tools, and I um, met Chris Lopez. He was a strong first level 2 instructor,
Oh, cool.
and working with Funk Roberts. I don't know if you know him, but anyways, kettlebells brought it forward. Like, fighters, MMA fighters, and fighters, you could try kettlebells, and right away it just like clicked together for me, especially the snatch. That's really what made me fall in love with kettlebells. How powerful I felt, how close to a jab, and how strike it felt. You know, going through a set of snatches really brought your heart rate up. You felt like you just fought, like that burning
Oh,
sensation
yeah.
in your lungs, all of it. So it just came together for me as an athlete, how I could use kettlebells to help me perform better and more efficiently. So you're working full time job, 2 kids, amateur fighting, and training. So now in short windows of time, I could put in a lot of strength and conditioning alongside of
Yeah.
the standard sparring and pad work of a Muay Thai athlete. So that's really how it came to start. And I started teaching kettlebells to the fighters at my gym
Oh, awesome.
almost right away. So I started a kettlebells for fighters program. That was where it all started for me. So not the typical like personal trainer or gym personal trainer. I was fighting and looking for a way to train. That was my kettlebell start.
That's really cool. Yeah, I mean, I love that. I think that's really that's way more exciting than me getting into kettlebells because I was a trainer already, and I just kind of like most people just kind of started doing them, playing around with them, and then took the strong first cert, and you and I obviously did the DV8 cert and went even deeper into those movements. Man, that's really cool. So I again I saw on your Instagram profile that it said fighter. I was curious. It's something I definitely wanted to ask you about. So you did Muay Thai. I'm literally picturing you now as like Jean-Claude Van Damme taking on Tong Po in the movie Kickboxer. So how was that? How was fighting? So you started fighting at 33?
That's correct.
That's amazing, man. That's freaking sweet. So so Muay Thai, I don't know a lot about it, but I do know it is elbows and knees, right? When you're
That's correct.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's
So
because
Muay
American
Thai,
American kickboxing is more tame, right?
yes.
Mhm.
Muay Thai, art of 8 limbs. So you have punches, kicks, knees, and elbows, and clinch. So a big part of Muay Thai fighting. That is a lot different than kickboxing. Kickboxing, you have a limited time that you can hold. Muay Thai, you can hold, clinch, knee, elbow. As long as you can hold on to them, you can keep going.
Oh wow.
So those are the times when in terms of Muay Thai and bringing in my kettlebells, learning how to clean, getting that good clean and rack, that brought a lot of power into being able to control the clinch. Just a
Yeah.
lot of similarities there. um I'm more of a like math science technical person. So when I started Muay Thai at like an older age, it is older, getting into the ring, it was always just like to challenge myself, to put myself into seeing like, am I getting better? Am I progressing with my skills, my technique? But not easy, not a lot of um, fighters, female fighters to be found. And I've always been, even at my leanest self, that like considered a larger body. So heavier fighters, not easy to find. So anything
Yeah.
over 150-pound female fighter, not something. So stretching yourself to try to find opponents and getting out there and just putting yourself out there that you're willing to get into the ring. You're starting off in a C class or beginners class. You don't use elbows. You would use knees, kicks, punches. But I moved quickly into B class where you could use elbows as well.
Man, that's really awesome. So when you like you said you had trouble finding females, because it's based on weight class, right? It's like
Weight
other
class,
martial arts. It's based on weight
correct.
class. Yeah. So when
Weight
you had
class,
trouble
skill
finding
level.
people in your yeah, so when you had trouble finding people that match that, did you end up facing men? Did you face like males that were around the
No,
same
Muay
size, or was
Thai,
that just
yeah, Muay Thai doesn't do the co-ed, like doesn't do mixed genders, but
okay? Yeah.
I did, like at one point I probably had like over 50-pound weight gap between me and my opponent, who was probably 50 pounds heavier than me.
Yeah.
As the like I was in heavyweight class,
Yeah.
and I did a fight, which was a national title. And once you were over 150 pounds, that was the top level. So here's some of the things, the challenges we have in sport and with gender-based weight classing. Men would have classes, middleweight, then they'd go heavyweight, super heavyweight, goes
Super
all the
heavyweight.
way up
Yeah. Yeah.
to whatever. Women, it stopped at 150. So it was 150 and over.
150?
Yes.
That's not
And
even that big. That's crazy. Oh my
150
gosh.
and over. And at the time I was probably 155.
Oh wow. Dang. Oh,
Yes.
that's
But
ridiculous. Wow.
I have to say, like, even when I was fighting, like, it was probably not, it's not optimal like body weight for my body, but I most of the time was just like, just stay ready, right? And I didn't do big heavy cuts. I'm an older woman, trying to maintain. So that was part of where kettlebells came in. I would just
Yeah.
stay there and work in that range. So maybe 160. If I was 165 at the time, like that would have been not like unusual. So
Okay.
I would stay and then just fight there. So really not looking to say, okay, I'm going to go make a 20-pound weight cut in order to
Yeah.
make a fight. It was just like, this is where I'm walking around. I feel strong. I'm moving well. Where is the opportunity? So we went into that. And if I wanted to find someone in my weight class, they only were offering low kick, which is like a different skill set on kickboxing. And I'm a Muay Thai fighter, so I'm like, I don't know how to do that. How to not
Yeah.
kick body, how to not kick head, like how to do. So I had to just go up into the weight class, and take on whoever was there.
Gotcha. So when you say low kicks, like you couldn't go high kick like towards the head, but you could go
That's
like body
correct.
kicks, like inside leg kicks, those kind
Yeah,
of those
yeah,
kind of shots. Okay. Hmm. That's interesting. Yeah,
yeah.
that's honestly you've actually inspired me, Damali, because I've for the longest time, ever since I was a kid, I've always thought about getting into some kind of martial art or some kind of thing like that. And my wife's actually in about a week or two going to give birth to our daughter. It's our first child, and I actually was telling her that I think it would be really cool if we did something like that. Maybe Krav Maga. I thought about Krav Maga or BJJ or potentially Muay Thai. So that's I don't know. You've inspired me. I think we're gonna have to do that. So
I think I
I think
think
that'd be
you
pretty cool.
should.
I'm 30, almost 31, so
Hey,
that means I'm good. I'm not
you
too
still
old.
have a couple years. You can still start. See?
Yeah, there we go. I'm ready to rock and roll. That's freaking
Yes, I
sweet.
think like there is no, like, age is just a number.
Yeah,
You can move in this world the way you want to, as long as you set your goals towards and focus on it. Congrats to you on the new
Thank
baby
you.
coming, and all the best in this strange COVID world. My sister-in-law
Yeah,
just delivered
seriously.
over the holidays, actually. December
Oh
28th,
wow.
I have a new niece. She delivered at home, 10 pounds, 2 ounces. So I was like,
Awesome.
yeah, I was like, yeah. But yeah, so good luck. And yeah, do it. My husband is big in the BJJ. That was
Cool.
never my thing. I want to stand up and punch people in their face.
Yeah, you're a striker. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That
Yes.
seems like a different style. You're a striker, and he's gonna go to the ground and wrap
Yeah,
you up into a bow.
yes, and very cerebral. I mean, there's obviously a mental game with Muay Thai, ring control, a lot of
Yeah.
aspects, but at the same time, it's very much the machete of martial arts, like strike, power.
Mhm.
That's it. Like chop the leg. If you can chop the leg, you're good, right?
Awesome.
So a little bit of differences, and depending on, I know a lot of people who take to them both and have moved around them both, especially if they're considering MMA.
MMA. Yeah.
Um, but I love Muay Thai. I love what I've seen with my husband, my daughter on BJJ. So, you know, give it a try. It's never too late.
I totally will. So you practice Muay Thai, and then one of your daughters does Muay Thai, and then the other one does BJJ with your husband.
So when I started Muay Thai, brought like it was because I brought them both to do Muay Thai. So they
Oh
were
right,
both
yeah, yeah,
my
yeah. Right.
daughters were doing Muay Thai for a little bit. Um, and then my older daughter actually went and started doing BJJ with my husband. So my
Mm.
oldest daughter has 2 stripes on her belt for BJJ, and she's also a world record holding power lifter.
Wait, what? Oh,
Yes.
that's awesome.
She
Oh,
did.
cool.
She got her world record at 14 in powerlifting. What was that? What was her right now? She's gonna get upset at me. But anyways, she had like a 275 squat, like 300-pound deadlift. You know, yeah, she's a monster too. When it
What did
comes to,
she? What was her weight at the time?
she was around 155. I think that's it, 155. Yeah.
Damn, that's impressive. So she had a double body weight deadlift, and then you said what, a 275 squat?
Yes, yes.
Wow, that's so. Was her world record her total? Like, sure, her total was a world record, or
Yeah,
was
she
it?
had a record on all of her lifts.
Wow, what was her bench?
Her bench 145.
Oh my god, that's
I think that was her
amazing.
max.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
she did really well, and she really enjoyed the barbell. So often
Yeah,
when folks are watching my classes, part of me saying, strength is for everybody. I mean, age, gender, everything,
yeah,
right? Like size doesn't matter. You start wherever you are, and you can find strength in your movement. Kettlebells was not necessarily her favorite, but you could see how kettlebells help her to maintain.
absolutely.
I didn't have a rack until the pandemic struck. I got a rack and barbells at home, and the first day I brought the barbell home, she puts 2 plates on, deadlift, done. This is like they're like, has she been training? I'm like, she hasn't touched a barbell since the beginning of the pandemic, but she's been doing kettlebells with me. So,
She still
we're
got it
still
though.
staying
Yeah.
strong. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's really really cool. I feel like if anybody breaks into your house, they will very quickly realize they picked the wrong family to screw with because all four of y'all are gonna kick ass. Tear them up.
Definitely. This is goals. This is goals.
You've got them toe to toe. You're gonna get the strikes in. Husband's gonna take them down, wrap them up, and they're gonna realize they made a big mistake. So no, that's awesome. I think that's really cool that you have a wide range of experience between fighting, Muay Thai, husband does BJJ, and you've gotten into the adaptability of kettlebell training and programming and how it can be used for other training modalities. I think that's really really cool. I've definitely gotten into using it as accessory work for the barbell. I've definitely used it for myself for like deadlift, squat, like squat bench deadlift training, and getting into that. The tactical strength challenge, obviously, the snatches and the deadlifts, synergistically kind of feeding into one another. What does your training look like right now? I know we did our DV8 certification, but what's been your kettlebelling journey lately?
Well, before the DV8 certification, like I was in a move for the love of movement kind of mode. Most of my training was like testing my programming for my students, my classes for my students. I was kind of just allowing myself to move. I started moving with the Indian clubs and the mace. So
Yeah,
I learned. So getting into that space of being a student and new and learning again is always curious and a great feeling for me. So I tried a couple of new modalities, and then I went to Phil and said, "Hey, I need to train." so,
there we go.
so DV8 since then has been on full programming to really get more power through my hip hinge. I'm looking to get up to those 20 kgs on the push press
Heck
test.
yeah, let's do it.
Um, and I love snatching, so heavy snatch work is pretty much on the bill for me. That's my training is like 3 days a week, with walking and hiking. So that's another thing that last year really started up for me, getting outside, going out for
Yeah,
hikes with the family, and then a little bit of spin bike work at home. I don't think we got to talk about it because what stopped my Muay Thai fighting career was actually I tore my ACL and
oh
medial,
yeah,
medial lateral meniscus in 2016. So after my ACL knee surgery, I really like pushed into my kettlebells for my recovery.
yeah.
So that was when I first like moved from level 1 to level 2 strong first certified instructor. My first accomplishment was like I'm coming out of this stronger than I was.
Yeah.
But then unfortunately I ruptured my Achilles.
Mm.
I ruptured my Achilles sparring because I had
Oh
to
yeah.
go back to fighting. And so that put me on another recovery mode. So I've explored my movements through applying them to different sports and modalities, but I've also taken some time to explore them for rehab and prehab was because of the injuries that I encountered.
That's awesome. So are you wanting to get back into fighting at all, or are you pretty much kind of done with that? Like you'll practice Muay Thai, but no more getting in there?
Yeah, no, I don't think I for probably 2 years I was like, yeah, I want to fight. I think for most people who fought, like there's something that's just like, yeah, if I could, I would. But when I weigh it out, like where things were before, like um, there's a considerable amount of sacrifice that goes into
Yeah.
wanting to be a competitive athlete in any regard, and to be kind of as ruthless about prioritization. It meant like social life, family, everything had to get a choice of how is this going to affect my Muay Thai? How is this going to affect my next competition? The number of times that I fought like early January and December, wherein that meant like through the holidays, I was on like a weight maintenance, run 10K a day kind of regimen.
Oh yeah.
No, no. I'm good. I love Muay Thai, I love movement. I will always love to strike and feel the need to like really move my body that way. But I don't crave, that kind of lifestyle. And I don't know about you, like as a coach, like those are the things where I think we now can go back to working with folks and really say, like, you might say you want something or see an outcome that you think you want, but the lifestyle you need to live in order to get that outcome and to maintain that outcome, that's what you need to ask yourself if you enjoy. That's what you need to know. You need to know if you love the journey. because the outcome is 6 minutes. Like in a fight, that's it. The outcome is you get in a rink, or if you can make it shorter, but
Yeah,
30
absolutely.
seconds, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe if you're in a pro fight, like 3 minute rounds, right? Like
Yep.
this is what you're working for. So if you do not enjoy the journey, if you do not enjoy the training, and that, then that's really not the life you want to choose. So that's the question for me, is like I enjoyed it, and I was really felt invigorated in my life at that time through that journey. But that's not it. Like now, my focus is moving well, moving pain free, following my injuries, and then supporting the community and helping people who are just like entering into their own journeys to kind of know what it is they're looking for, and to kind of guide them and give them that awareness, like to make the right decision. Because smaller bodies often mean living in a different lifestyle. And you need to understand if you want to shrink your lifestyle to fit that body.
Yeah, no, that's very, very true. I think you're right. I think it's very slippery slope to get down in when you're like, oh, I just want to do this competition, this challenge, and I want to do this. And like you said, you think about the actual commitment that's going to go into it, and then the maintenance, right? What is it going to take to do that? I remember a few years ago, I was like, oh, I want to get back down to like just under 10% body fat, and see my abs again, and blah blah blah, and all this stuff. And I did it. Took a quick photo and realized it did absolutely nothing for me. I didn't really care. If anything, I was actually a little more sad because I wasn't enjoying myself, food and drink wise, as much as I wanted to. And I became obsessed over, again, a number and a measurement. And I just said, screw it, man. I haven't weighed myself in the last like year and a half, and I just don't really care. I just stopped caring. I just, like you said, started moving, having fun, enjoying myself, and trying to develop a healthier relationship between exercise, movement, and finding the joy in it versus like, oh, I need to punish myself because I had the pizza or the beer or whatever. So
Yeah,
definitely
different
think you're right.
different fitness missions, all around for us all. Different approach to how we present what is fitness, what is health, and what is like a fit lifestyle, and being like conscious of what you're choosing. I think that is ultimately it. I'm not against people choosing a goal of weight loss, or even that under 10%. But like you said, I'm just gonna say to you, okay, like, do you truly enjoy that journey, the lifestyle that's in to be there? And then when you're there, then what? What is it like? Is that if you really enjoy it? Like some people just like they really like packing all their lunches in Tupperware, and maybe that they find their joy, and their joy is being at the gym for hours, and they couldn't imagine doing much else.
Yeah.
But if you're missing even anything else, then you really should be asking yourself, like, how do you want to live? And then live that to the best of your ability, and the outcome will be that your body will move to accommodate, it adapts to what that is, and learning to love that like every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. I couldn't agree more, Damali. I think that's fantastic. I love everything you said. Love everything that you stand for. Where can everybody find you if they want to reach out to you, find you online, or potentially reach out to you for coaching?
I do have a website, liftoffstrength.ca. I'm in Canada, but now even more global reach, more folks are reaching out. We're all able to connect. If anything, this is something new in our new world that's been a benefit, connecting more to people. You can find me at Damali Fraiser, and my last name is Fraiser on Instagram, and I'm posting all the time. And you will get the real Damali. Yes, I do post training and tips and content like that, but you also will see my family. You will see me making myself laugh with mom jokes. Or you will see me, if I'm in a rant and I want to make sure that I share a message because of something I'm feeling, then I will share that as well. Just to keep everyone close to like how my values resonate through my life. I am on Facebook. You can also find Lift Off Strength and Wellness on Facebook and Lift Off Strength and Wellness on YouTube. I am working towards increasing my exercise library there, as well as I do have a few free classes where you can see the whole Team Fraiser family, where we did some live classes on replay, so you can train with me and Elvis and Rachel and Morgan anytime you like. So yeah, you could probably find me everywhere. I would just Google Damali Fraiser.
There we go. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to link all of this below for everybody in the description so that they can find you. And I definitely have to tell everybody, please give her a follow, subscribe to her YouTube channel. Damali is real. She keeps it real. She doesn't BS you. And I personally love when people, they give you more of a raw, unfiltered look. Like it's one thing to like do these perfectly polished like exercise videos, like workout videos and that kind of stuff. Obviously, we're fitness professionals, and that's our kind of the backbone of our profession is fitness and strength and movement. But I think it's really refreshing when people will post like a picture of their dog or a picture of their like kids and their family, and then like doing other stuff, because we're still people, right? We're not just coaches and trainers. So there's definitely more to life than, like you said, just living in a gym. So
Yeah.
I think that's a great focus to have.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate you inviting me, and it's been a joy since meeting you at the DV8 CERT to connect and continue to connect. I'm looking forward to the next upcoming CERT so I can keep
Me too.
learning. If anything, you'll always see that too on my feed is something I'm just exploring, some new training, whether it's professional fitness or personal development. That's something I'm always going to keep forward. What I'm reading. So if you sign up for my newsletter, I often share too some of the hot podcasts, the music that I use in my classes. You're going to get some soca, some reggae, some Afro beats. So folks who want to explore, come check us out. Come check out my newsletter too.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll link that below as well, so you guys can obviously find that as well. So I think I need some music recommendations too. I listen to the same stuff over and over again. My wife gets on to me. She says, "Dude, you're turning into an old man. You need to branch out and try some new stuff." So that's definitely something I'll challenge myself with. Well, Damali, thank you so much for being on the show. It was awesome getting to know you, learning about your vision for the future, your values, and your philosophy as far as coaching and beyond. And I just want to leave our audience with this challenge for 2021 and beyond. Train your body, feed your mind.